Welcome to PA Timber Goose. Today is January 21st. A little chilly in here today. When I got up this morning it was about 11 degrees. I was going to do a video this morning, but it was way too cold in here. My camera gear usually shuts down when it gets that cold. Got the big buddy heater on, and it's 50 degrees now. So the camera will work better. This will be the second half of our fly tying video. Today we're going to tie some green weenies. I have some different material here. This one here is chartreuse. This is the common color for a green weenie. And I have some material to make a mop fly. I've never actually tied one of those or fished one of those, so that'll be a first for that one. And I have some leech yarn here. I'm going to make a few different color green weenies here. I only have one color Mop Fly, and I have a few colors for my Leech Pattern. So these are all going to be beginner fly tire flies. These are very easy, and these are all basically 2-minute flies. The hooks are a lot smaller, so it's a lot more frustrating if you've never tied a fly with a tiny hook. Okay, we're going to tie some flies, so I'm going to move the camera where you can see the vise, and tie some more 2-minute flies, and you can add these to your arsenal. Okay, here's my Mustad hook, and I have a Mustad 9671. We're going to wrap the shank of the hook in thread here so my material doesn't spin around. This fly will test your patience with the tail. It has a habit of spinning around in circles. You can tie this with lead or without lead. It's totally up to you. The lead I have for this is smaller. It's a 020 instead of the 030. Now you can wrap the hook shank, or you can just cut it flat like this here. Sometimes this is easier, but I don't like to use split shots with a lot of this stuff, so I try to put as much lead on there as I can without making it scrape the bottom. I try to get my flies to float in the center of the water column. So I'm going to spin my 020 back, and I'm going to stop at the hook point. My wraps are not touching because I don't want this to be very heavy. Clip our lead off here, and then we will get my big finger out of the way. Spin the thread around the lead so that doesn't move on the hook shank. And then the chartreuse green. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to secure the material just behind where the lead stopped. We're going to put a few wraps back here. The most important part on a green weenie is the tail. The tail actually helps this float through the water, and it makes it twist through the water by the current catching the tail. So it may take you a few times to get the tail the right size. You can make it big or small, however you want. I put a very tiny loop on there. Hopefully you can see that there. Then I grab it with my left hand, put a few wraps on it, secure that tail, so when you wrap the material forward it won't spin around on the hook. Okay, move your thread to just behind the eye. Fingers aren't cooperating yet. It's still pretty cold in here. It's up to 50 degrees. I got the big buddy on high. There was no way I was coming out here this morning when it was 11 degrees. Okay, our thread is behind the eye. Now we're going to wind our material forward. I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on this while you're winding it forward. Make nice even wraps so you don't see the hook shank. Fingers are fighting back. Okay. Now we're behind the eye on the hook. Going to put a couple wraps on here, secure material. clipper material off. Somebody's barking at the cats. That's a very big dog out there. Okay, let's build up the head on our fly here. We'll put a few half hitches on here. 1, 2. I usually don't use a whip finisher. I like putting the half hitches on there. It's much easier. And that's our green weenie. Okay, fly number 2. We're going to do the Mop Fly. I've never tried this before, and I'm not sure if it's going to catch anything, but seems to work for everybody else. I have a size 10 scud hook. And I'm going to put a bead on top of here. Never fished one of these, so I'm very curious how well this will work. This bead doesn't exactly fit on here, but there we go. You can hear it go over top of the barb. Spin our hook around here. As cold as killing my GoPro batteries. It's eating them up. Okay, we're gonna wrap the hook with thread here. I'm going to tie 2 different versions of this, and I'm not sure which one will work better. I'm not going to super glue the end of it. I'm going to put a head cement on the end. I'm actually going to dip it in the head cement instead of trying to super glue the end. We'll see if that works better. Okay, here's my mop material. It's very soft. Hopefully this won't disintegrate in the water. I have my doubts. The tire material in right behind the bead. Pull our material out. I'm going to have it extend about 1/4 inch past the bend in the hook. Material's already coming apart. I'm not sure about this. I have some black leech yarn. This is actually going to be the next fly after I'm done tying the Mop Fly. We're going to tie the material in behind the bead. This will give it a buggy look. Do a couple wraps here. And then tie the material off. Pull that down. Put my half hitch on here. And then snip this off. It took about a minute to tie that fly. Another loop on here. I have a nice buggy collar on here right behind the bead. But the end of this here, I'll actually put some head cement on here so that the end of that doesn't disintegrate. Okay, that's that one. This is a size 12 curved shank hook. It's a very thin wire. This little hook is extremely sharp. It doesn't look like much, but this is also a very deadly fly. When the trout are spooky and the water's very low, we're fishing the skinny water, I will tie this fly on with no weight and fish it very slowly through the shallow water. I've always had very good results fishing this fly. Okay, I'm going to use some marabou feathers. All you have to do is take a plume out and cut a few fibers off. It doesn't need a lot. This is a very thin profile fly. And all you have to do is get the tail to move. Basically, this is a leech pattern. So it's supposed to be very tiny. You don't want a big heavy rabbit fur tail on this. You can use rabbit fur, but if you're going to do that, just put a few strands on there. For some reason, marabou seems to work better on this. I'm going to put a piece of 030 lead on here. We're just going to tie it lengthwise on the hook shank. Just a very minimum amount of weight. Leave a little gap behind the eye. This leech pattern is very simple to tie. Now you could use dubbing for this if you want to. I've used dubbing in the past, but piece of leech yarn. Leech yarn seems to work better. Basically, it's just a little, it's like a piece of chenille, but it's very buggy. We're just going to tie a little piece in here right behind the tail. Okay. Now we're just going to take our leech yarn, wind this up behind the eye. You can go back with a small brush and make this buggier if you want to. Or you can just leave it the way it is. This is a very simple pattern. Couple wraps behind the eye, and then a half hitch. Make sure you don't wrap your threads over top of the eye, or you won't be able to put your leader on there. These hooks are very delicate. Clip off your thread, pull your leech yarn back. That's pretty much it. I have my little bobkin here. I'll push my thread back away from that eye. That's it. You can see the buggy texture to it. You can come by with a needle or something, or a toothbrush, or a small wire brush, and just go over this and make it a little bit buggier. That's a leech pattern. There's 3 more 2-minute flies that we tied tonight. There's the infamous green weenie. See if I can get a hold of this where you can see it. There's my green weenie. Tied this in 3 colors tonight. I have a dozen of them. And I tied a mop fly tonight. 3 of them have a bead head. 3 of them have, the other 3 have ostrich hurl for a collar. This has black leech yarn tied around it. Never fished a mop fly, but we'll find out if this works or not. Fly number 3 would be a very small black leech pattern. I tied 6 in this and 3 in blood red. Okay, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching PA Timber Gist. Hopefully you tie some of these flies and give them a try this year. Don't buy them. They're very easy to tie. It'll save you a lot of money. You can tie 2 dozen for the price of 2 or 3 that you buy from a fly shop, and they'll be tied much better. Comments are always welcome. Questions are always welcome. As always, smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you out there. Tight lines.